One time for the one time.
One time for the one time. The family bloodline.
And we back, family, for another episode of the Family Bloodline Podcast. What's good with it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We here. We here. We we got a special. I'm gonna mute you for a quick sec to see. So I got you though. We have a special edition tonight of the Family Bloodline Podcast, and it is a men's roundtable. We are going to be doing a men's roundtable. So yeah, I'm gonna talk
Pretty cool.
absolutely. But before we get into that, let's send a shout out to Wanda and Martell. Happy anniversary.
Yes, yeah, that deserve another shout out, another round of applause. They
Yeah,
celebrating what? 10 years, she say?
I think yeah, 10 years.
She said 10 years they celebrating.
Yeah,
Congratulations to the
congrats.
both of y'all.
Absolutely. That's no that's no easy feat. So Wanda won't be with us tonight, but because of that, we again are going to have a special edition of the Family Bloodline Podcast, and what we're going to be doing is a man's panel, right? And we're going to talk about a bunch of different things for a bit. For a bit. Now, with that being said, I want to check and see how everybody doing. Cecil, welcome. Appreciate you being on here with us. Yeah, yeah. How's y'all's day been going so far? Let's start there.
My day been awfully good. I ain't working too hard. Just making a living. Normal
Okay,
black man.
gotcha. You out here in these streets, I see.
Yes, sir. As usual.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What's today? Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday.
Right back around on us.
The
Man,
grind don't stop.
it is not. I was not ready for it, but it is what it is. Here we are. Here we are. Dirt, how about your week? How's your week been so far?
Oh, we was going decent, making a little progress in my bathroom renovations, but then big baby got sick on us. He been down for the last 3 days. Uh, yeah, he's down. He got like a stomach virus. It's real bad, though.
Wow.
It's,
Wow.
yep. So, wifey got up at 4 this morning and took him into the emergency room. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get him right, see what's going on.
Yeah. Is he is she working from the house still, or she have to go back in?
She got to do certain days in the office, and you know what I'm saying? She's still remote.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay.
You
She's a
know,
wild. She's a wild fan. But
he
my week,
working. Yeah, he working.
family, he own it. He own it. My week has been all right. Got a couple things that I've been exploring and getting knocked out working on, and always got projects going on. Always got projects going on. And just you know, everybody's working for the weekend. That's what it is right now. So, but yeah, week has been cool. We finally got a break from all the rain out here. Cause look, that wasn't it.
Oh my
That
goodness, it's going down outside. Well, it was earlier. It was going down.
yeah, it started thundering and lightning and shit again, and I was just like, nah, I can't do this. I'm scared of lightning. I don't appreciate it. So, but all in all, good week so far. I gotta do some foolish. Well, I ain't gonna even say foolishness. Got some stuff to do tomorrow, and I'll be out of work. And uh, I think next week I'm gonna try to see what's going on with getting back in school. So yeah,
Straight up. Straight up.
yeah. I need to finish that. I need to finish that. I can't leave it where it is right now. I gotta finish that. So
Well, hopefully you have a little bit more time on your hand, you know.
yeah, yeah. It'll keep me busy for a while. So that's the that's the aim. That's the aim. So let's get ready to get into it. I know there were a lot of gentlemen that were wanting to get in on the topic a little bit. Um and so I anticipate people hopping in and out as we go through the topics and folks figure out how to get on. Yeah, I figured Cecil had frozen. Yeah, frozen. So moving forward to the first topic for the men's table. Fatherhood. Fatherhood
Mm-hmm.
and fatherhood. And we can put some definition to it if you want, or just in no direct terms. What is fatherhood? What do you think of whenever somebody says fatherhood? What's one of the first things that comes to y'all's minds?
I think like a giver and provider. That's what comes to mind for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, a giver and provider.
Yes.
Gotcha. You want to unpack that a little bit? What are you giving? What are you providing?
Just from just the sense that I mean, hell, you can even go to the Bible, I guess. But even outside of speaking of the Bible as a giver and a provider, just on myself, on how I take my on how I view men, myself. You know what I'm saying? Because they give whatever they can to shirts off their back. As always, we've been taught to provide, so that's why I say a giver and provider when I think of a father. You know, somebody that can demonstrate a little patience and a little understanding. You know what I'm saying? And just be able to create a secure environment, pretty much. Father,
Okay. All right. What about you, Cecil? Fatherhood.
I think he froze up on us again.
Oh, all right. There he is.
Mm-hmm.
You back. You back.
There he
Cecil.
is.
I think maybe. I don't know. You with us, Cecil?
Give me a hot second. I'm trying to fix it. Dang, even I'm hearing y'all through my phone instead of my car.
Oh, okay.
Got some technical difficulties here. We
That's all right.
fix it.
Yeah. I'll put you on mute until you get it fixed.
Yep.
And so I was asking for you to unpack giving and protecting, because I think those are pretty vague terms, especially when it comes to fatherhood. When we generally speaking, when we say something about fatherhood, people are just talking about financial, or to sum it up, the fiduciary aspect of being a father, right?
Mm.
Providing and paying for everything and buying this and buying that, yada yada yada. But I think in terms of fatherhood, especially when it comes to giving and providing, one of the things that's not talked about or said or spoken about often is the emotional aspect of things. I think that fathers that are involved with their kids quite frequently give their kids a sense of identity. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what fathers bring to the parental front. We give our kids a sense of identity, as well as confidence and courage from our parenting, depending on your parenting style as well. But that's my. What do you think?
No, I agree. Totally agree. Like I say, mine. You say pretty much a little vague, and 'cause I was trying to unpack it a little bit more. I was trying to think a little bit and unpack it a little more. But that's like I say, I just thought of it from my perspective. I wasn't even thinking of it like just from a man's perspective, but like the sports and all that. That's why I say just be able to create a safe environment. Like when you come home, like or any child that's in the presence of a father, that's the first thing they know. They just feel like they, you know what I'm saying, just secure. Like I'm comfortable. I can be myself. I can, you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Just that's what I'm thinking of. Just that confident and that provider standpoint.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, and again, I asked you to be more specific because we often hear, and
The
this is,
typical,
yeah, this ain't
yeah,
to take anything away from the ladies by any stretch, but I don't think fatherhood is celebrated as much or as Rashawn's trying to get me to co-host, and I can't co-host right now. I got my own thing going. That's on TikTok. TikTokers, if you want to hop on the panel, by all means, switch on over to YouTube under the Family Bloodline Podcast. We're having a men's roundtable. But fatherhood is often looked over, and nobody really puts um, any type of texture to it. And when people do begin to insert these types of things, it's generally speaking one day of the year, and that's Father's Day. And uh, I honestly there's a little angst that I have, and I get with that because again, fathers are often overlooked, and we a lot of fathers don't get the thank you or the same type of voice as our counterparts.
but
Uh,
but just check this out. Like trip off like what are we talking about? Like the fatherhood. So you
right.
can that's to a child or something or someone, you know what I'm saying? So man, when you get that like you was talking about sports games and events, when you get that high five or when you get that thumbs up or just that, am I doing good? Are you proud of me? Like them moments, man, them are genuine. Like you don't need no appreciation when you know what I'm saying, when you receiving that type of love, you know what I'm saying? Like that person is really telling you, I love you without telling you at the same time. And that's why I say kids are so precious, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes fatherhood.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't disagree with that at all. My man Jordan hopped on. I don't know where he ran off to, but just again putting a little more what did I call it a second ago? Giving it more texture, giving the word more texture because fatherhood does not only identify. It's not simply the fiduciary responsibilities that we have with for our families, uh, but it's also the selflessness. Egg, what's up? What's going on, Cuzzo? What's going on? And like Lynn said, it feels like a thankless job at times. For some reason, our comments on StreamYard aren't catching up.
And
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 it,
that, and that's I'm sorry. That's what I was alluding to. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you know what I'm saying? Like mothers don't really get it. You know what I'm saying? They can come on and say the same spiel, but like I said, when you being a father and you seeing the product of what you are raising, you know what I'm saying? Just enjoy life and just enjoy every moment of you. It's genuine, man. Like
I don't,
them all the praises.
I don't know if and this again is not taking anything away from the ladies, but I don't know if the women can say the same thing.
My bad. Men roundtable. Let me get that in my head.
Yeah,
We
I
talking
don't.
about us tonight. But I was just saying they could say the same thing, but man, that feeling because I wish like uh Ball would have stayed on because to talk
Yeah,
to gentlemen, like some people that really don't want to resonate with kids, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to have children, you know what I'm saying? To
okay,
get a different perspective of, you know what I'm saying, fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like so
yeah, okay. And adding a little more texture to it, right? So it is very much so a thankless job, like no doubt about it. And pushing that forward, the emotional aspect of being a father. There we go. You're back now, Dard. And I'm gonna pull you off mute. Let's hear what you got to say. Hey man, before you start, let me say this. You're gonna have to unmute yourself. It's good to see you, man. I ain't seen you in about a month of Sundays, bro. You still on mute. You gotta unmute yourself. You gotta unmute yourself.
Okay, there you go. You know, you know you can't teach an old dog a new trick. You know, I turned 60 on Saturday, man.
Man.
Yeah. So,
happy birthday, bro. Happy
so,
birthday.
and all this technology and stuff. I tried to come on the last time with you, but all this technology and stuff. I didn't have computers when I was in school. We still had that Chinese calculator where you're going like this, right? You're going like this. Hey, and I tell you, now that we're on that subject, I tell you a thing. I was volunteering at a cooking class at a school out in Salt Lake. And so I went and played around with the kids because they came in, and I went and sat down at the teacher's desk, and I said, okay, you guys get all your books out. They all looked around at me, and I said, yeah, get your books out. You're too loud. Quiet down, get your books out and study. And then they go, we ain't got no books. I said, what? You ain't got no books? That's not good. They said, no, Mr. Darden. They go, we got computers. And I say, oh, they get your computers out there. But anyway.
So the question is fatherhood, and contextually, we're talking about not just fatherhood in the aspect of the fiduciary portion of it, but the tangibles, the putting texture to it, the emotional part of it, the not just giving of yourself, being selfless at it. And because you've got kids also, and your kids are successful. Your young ladies, that beautiful young ladies, by the way. He's got a beautiful family. Tell your wife I said hi also.
I will do.
But yeah, what is your, when somebody mentions fatherhood to you, what comes to mind for you?
Fatherhood to me means providing.
Okay.
Providing stability. You have to have a stable household. And by the way, me and my wife been together for 38 years.
30.
And we've been 38. And we've been married 33 of the 38. And I mean, it haven't been all glorious. Even with the kids, it haven't been all glorious. You know, they never see eye to eye. And me growing up in Chicago, they'll never see eye to eye with my way of thinking. And my way of thinking is, for one thing, I told them from when they came out of the womb, if you ever get in trouble with the law, you're in trouble with me. Never get in trouble with the law. So, what's that?
Why do you say that?
Why do I say that? It's because, you know, choices. I tell all my kids, you got choices.
Yeah.
If you know, and you got friends, I can't choose their friends for them. I always tell them that. But if you got friends and you know right from wrong, and you out there doing wrong, you need to get yourself out of that situation. And I tell you, trouble is easy to get in and hard to get out of. But you can easily move yourself from that situation. You don't have to get in trouble. If you see your my daughter trying to call me now. If you see your
we'll give it a second. He'll be back.
Am I back yet?
Yep, you're back.
Yeah, my daughter just tried to call me now. I had a question for her right before I got up. But anyway, if you see yourself, this is what I tell my kids. If you see yourself in a sticky situation, if it don't feel good, it's not good.
Okay.
You know, if it don't feel good, it's not good. So, and I can say that I run a easy ship, but a hard ship too, right? Because I know where I came from, right? And like some of the things that I would sit back and listen to my kids. A lot of times they don't think I'm listening, but I'm listening. And
Yeah.
I listen to them, talk to their mom, listening to them, talk to their friends. They bring their friends over, and I sit back and listen. They don't think I'm listening, but I'm in another room listening. And after that conversation is done, and I go and I tell them, well, I'm not saying your friend is not a good friend, but you might need to might need to recheck your circle.
And so
And I always, what's that?
That goes kind of back to what I was saying when it comes to fatherhood, and because we say we provide, but nobody actually quantifies the provision that you're given, right? Because when you say provide, people generally stop at money, right? And it's not just money, but part of fatherhood is providing your children a sense of identity and understanding and confidence and motivation. That's what fatherhood entails as well,
Oh
right?
yeah. Out of the six, oh,
Go ahead, sir.
go ahead.
And each one of my kids would tell you. I got a famous saying. If you circle yourself, and one of them just iterated last week. If you circle yourself with 5 rich people, you will become rich.
Sure.
If you circle yourself with 5 idiots, you will become an idiot. And I taught them that from the womb, and my youngest is 19. From 30, I have kids from 40 to 13.
Man,
to 19.
40?
40.
Goddamn, dog.
My oldest is 40, and they're twins.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think
we're 42 actually.
I don't think I've ever met them.
You haven't. That was from a previous.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right. Before I joined them, actually, I tell you a little thing about that too. Is that I was only 14 when they were born.
Whoa.
Yeah, because if you take the 60 and the and the 42, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Dirk, what was you about to say, Dirk?
And I didn't raise them. So the 2 girls, I didn't raise them. I ended up joining the military when I was 20 years old to get out of Chicago. That's why I joined the military. And I didn't raise them. However, when I was finally done with active duty, went back into the National Guard, I moved back close to Chicago with my wife that I had then. We had 1 kid, and their mother was still out there doing the same things that was going on in Chicago when I was younger, right? And she ended up going to jail, so we got custody of them for 2 years.
Okay.
And we wanted to move back to, and I'm thankful for my wife that I have, we're still together, that she brought them in and treated them like her own. But when we decided that we wanted to move from the Midwest and move back to Hawaii, they didn't want to go. They wanted to go and stay with their grandpa. So I didn't get I got an opportunity to spend 2 good years with them. And I tell you, those years was very good because I got a chance to instill something in them, and they're very successful right now. And whenever they visit me or whenever we talk, they always come back to, and their upbringing wasn't so good. And they would ask me, well, why didn't I come back often? I came back to Chicago. Well, if you, and the story on that, I don't go to Chicago. Only for like funerals. I just stay away from there. But anyway, they would ask me why wasn't I coming back often? And I told them that every time I did come back, they were my first stop, you know, and I would call them not as often as I would have wanted to, but I would call them at least a couple times a year.
Yeah.
And talk with them, and they became they actually, I think it was 2.5 years. So most of their high school years they was with me and my wife. And when they came and stayed with us in Wisconsin, they became cheerleaders. They did a whole lot of things that, and they were saying it themselves. They was like, "Wow, I mean, it's a whole different way of living." It was a whole different way of living than what they was living in Chicago.
Yeah. So Dirt, what were you saying a second ago?
Oh, nothing. Just was piggybacking off what he was saying at that point. Just pretty much, it ain't nothing better than being a father, being responsible for, you know what I'm saying, another soul. You know what I'm saying, that you created. You know what I'm saying, right? We have out of the six. I got a set of twins also, but they're the youngest. You know what I'm saying? They're the youngest. But
Congratulations.
just the joy of seeing, you know what I'm saying, seeing yourself in them bodies, man. You know what I'm saying? Just the conscious state that they're in still. They're just so, they're not corrupt, you know. Like they identify with a person, well now they understand black and white, but I want to say when they were about 5, they're like, "Daddy, look at that guy," and look at the orange guy. We like, who is the orange guy? So they was identifying everyone by their colors of their t-shirts instead of the color of their skin. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I mean by how innocent and, you know what I'm saying, how not corrupt they were. I just love it, man. Ain't nothing better than being a father.
I agree. And I think men should be given a shout out more for participating. For those of us who participate, I'm proud of y'all, and I thank you all for being present and available for your children to show them what fatherhood is supposed to look like and feel like. Again, I think we don't do a good job at actually identifying the different dimensions of fatherhood, right? Like I spoke about briefly, and I'll reiterate it again: helping your children find a sense of identity, giving organization and structure, right? A sense of that motivation, that drive to push forward into challenges and keep your head down. We do it differently than our counterparts. We appreciate our counterparts. We just do it differently, and it's something that our children need. They absolutely need. So I just wanted to
So
point
do
that
we
out.
need more round tables? Because who do we need to appreciate us more? Or where does that come from?
So the appreciation aspect of it,
Yeah, what does that look like? Yeah.
man. I tell
From
you,
who?
I'm glad you said that. Yes, that's right, Chris. It is deep for us. So I had my babies once, and we were walking out of the office, and we were going across the street. And whenever I'm with my kids and we're about to go across the street, before they go, I make them stop. They stand off to the side, and I walk to the corner first, and I walk in the street first, right? Because I'm making sure no trucks or traffic's coming. And a brother in the truck, he recognized what I was doing, and he stopped his truck, well enough behind the or away from the crosswalk to let us know that he was no, I ain't got twins, Poland. That's dirt. But to let us know that we had the right of way. But he simply stuck his head out the window and he was like, "Thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that." And that in and of itself is enough recognition. I don't think we do it enough to and for each other. Like my buddy Chris is on TikTok and he's got girls and he's a hell of a father. Also, Darden's a hell of a father. Dirt, you a hell of a father. And it's the small moments like that where we see a man participating actively in fatherhood, to where that quick mention or that acknowledgement of my man, yeah, that's what you do. Thank you
Right.
for thank you
Yeah.
for doing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we can do a better job at that, and acknowledging that, because we know that it's not an easy job. And those of you all who can make it look easy, I appreciate it.
It's not easy.
It's not.
One thing I gotta say is that one thing that I'm guilty of, even now that I got older kids, is not communicating sufficiently. You know, even though that they all, I mean, even the ones that was not with me, was very successful, but I feel that I could have communicated just a little bit more. As far as I mean, far as hey, let's go out to lunch, or let's go out to breakfast, or and I was always busy. I was always busy saying that I have to build my empire. You know, I have to build. I mean, and it wasn't. I think I said that wrong. It wasn't actually building my empire. It was. I was always telling them that I have to build generational wealth. And I would tell them everything that I'm doing. Trust me, I might have the big master suite in the house. I might have the big bathroom in the house, the only room that have got a bathroom inside of my room. But at the end of the day, everything is going to be passed down to you. And I always promise my kids that I'm doing it for me now, but most of it is going to be for you later. Because I was not given anything. My mom didn't have enough to pass down to us. Mm-hmm. So my focus right now is to have something. I mean, even though my kids, one or two of them didn't already bought them their own houses or something like that, I still want to pass something to them.
Sure.
So the generations don't keep having to struggle. To I mean, not saying work hard, because they prime example. I had my 19-year-old. All my kids is gone now except for the 19-year-old, and she came into work today. I mean, from work today. A couple hours ago, and she said, "Oh, I took one of my friend's shift because she got sick." And I said, "Good." I said, "Now you're making money." And then she goes, "Oh yeah, and so I got to go to school tomorrow all day, and then I'm going to work Friday and Saturday." And I said, "Good. Then that's making a good steward of that." I mean, that's the thing that I respond to.
Okay.
What's that?
I was just saying, like a motivational tool when you were saying, like, great, good.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then telling her, and then I did say, and I looked at her and I said, my dear, that's going to keep you out of trouble. Right. If you work hard, you go to, so right now she's working and going to school. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's good. And my way of thinking, and hopefully I'm instilling that on her, is that you don't have enough time to run out there in the streets, clubs, and all of that stuff like that. Because by the time that right there is happening, you're too tired to do that.
You get some sleep somewhere.
Right. Sooner or later. And so that kind of begins to, and we can always go back. So there's a comment on Facebook, my man Swift. It'll pop up in the comments in a little bit, but he says life insurance, right? Mm-hmm. Providing for your children in death what you couldn't provide for them in life. Uh-huh. And actually, I don't know if Lynn is still in the comments or not, but if he is, he can come up and talk a little bit about that as well, right? And I know it's a bit of a friction point for Dirt and Lynn when we're talking life insurance, but there's
no issues, man. I just wanted to know how many actual generational wealth have they gave me for that argument to be that big? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many people do they actually present that as? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot with life insurance, they don't pretty much present that. Right. And that's what I was asking. He was telling me that's the way, but I understand it, but that was my only argument with that.
And to reiterate on that is that I was thinking today, right, about putting something on, posting something on Facebook, because it's a strange thing that happened to me that um, I don't know if they're watching, so I'm not going to say too much about it because we're live. But anyway, a certain so and so come over driving the Tesla, right? Meet my wife at the hospital driving the Tesla. So if I go outside and show you my cars now, one got 208,000 miles on it.
Right.
Another one got, and I bought them new, and another one got 80,000. Another one got 100,000, right? And I'm only a half a year from paying the last two off. And I'm not going to get other cars, and they're not Teslas, they're not BMWs, they're not Mercedes and things like that, right? So to respond to what I thought was, oh yeah, I'm driving a Tesla, I was going to put on Facebook without naming no names and take a picture of my old beater, right, and post it on Facebook and say, yeah, and my how's that going? And my pride possession is my Mickey Mouse watch.
That's
right?
funny.
Because I don't need glamorous things. I don't need like and especially a Tesla, a BMW, and I know that people say you got to treat yourself. You're doing good, but me myself, I don't need that. I don't need a $80,000 or $70,000 car to make me feel good, right? I do need good transportation so I can get to and from work or what I need to do, right? And a decent place to live. Now my home would be where I'm going to put my all into. That's going to be my pride. I don't need a car to be my pride because you know why? I just read an article today about a gentleman. He bought. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Give me a second. Cecil, put your seatbelt on, man.
I'm glad I'm not riding in my car because that's what I do too.
What?
It's just singing at you, bro.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Darden. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't need all of that. And earlier on in my life, before I met my wife, I did need all of that. But my wife is the kind of person that she said, no, you don't. Okay. And I read an article today about a gentleman. He bought a brand new Tesla, and I'm not getting off subject because this goes to teaching your kids too, right? He bought a brand new Tesla truck, Cybertruck, right? 2 years ago, he paid $140,000 for that Cybertruck, right? And 2 years later, he want to sell it, right, with only 2,600 miles on it. He can only sell that truck for $80,000.
Yeah, he's lost. He lost on
it. Okay. I'm gonna give you another point. This is what I do, and this is what I show my kids. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is just not all me. This is what I show my kids. I bought a house about 8 years ago, right? For about $100,000. That bugger is worth about $600,000 now. So this is why I'm saying I don't need, and I got 4 or 5 houses that's worth that amount.
Right.
If I cash them out, because the only reason why I knew that because someone wanted to buy it. One of my renters that's in it wanted to buy it, and I had to go through and see what it was valued at. But and I said, oh my goodness, ooh, if I sell this bugger, I'm cashing out at $500,000. So if I would have bought, think about this, and that's about the same time I bought my truck, I bought my car, and they are only Dodge Rams and a Kia, right? So 7 years ago, when I bought the house, I bought the cars and stuff like that. If I would have bought a Tesla or a BMW for $80,000, right? it would be only worth about what, $5,000 to $6,000 now,
I don't know.
right?
I ain't buying them craps.
But by buying real estate and land and stuff like that, you gain.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? You gain because it's only going to go up.
Yep.
And like I tell my kids, don't buy too many things that's going to depreciate. You don't need that. And my daughter, she's a dental hygienist, right? She got the job. She went to school, got the job, and everything. And then she go, "Well, Dad, I'm thinking about trading my car in." And I said, "Okay, what are you going to get?" And she said, "Well, I don't know. What do you think of a Lexus or something?" And I said, "Girl, why you want to do that?"
Yeah,
I said, "The first thing is, what's wrong with the car you got now? Is it breaking down on you? Is you putting a lot of money?" Well, no. Then why do you need a new car at this time?
It's not a need; it's a want. And again, that's a part of what fathers are supposed to do. It's instilling a sense of discipline, helping them
Yes, sir.
prioritize, so on and so forth. We're going to push the conversation forward a little bit, and we're going to introduce friendships at the men's roundtable. And let's begin to do the same thing when we talk about friendship. What to define the word? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it mean? Give it some texture. Don't give the vague. That's just when you got a partner. Friendship is a bit of a sacred word in a lot of cases, and it should be treated as such. So, Dirk, when we talk about friendship, what is your take? What's your movement on it?
I would say it's like a state, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? How people say state of mind. I would say it's a state of like mutual trust and support between individuals. No blood relation, no ties from nothing. Just two mutual people just meeting up and just we done built this bond and this trust and you know what I'm saying, with support system.
Yeah, that's good. I can
That,
dig.
that would be my take on friendship, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Just
know.
mutual trust and support.
Yeah, I know. The older you get, it seems like the harder it is to actually make
Trust.
friends. Yeah, that's something that I'm figuring out, which is fine. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people, and I've been a lot of places. But I don't consider everybody a friend. That's the truth. I think the older you get, the more guarded you become with friendship. You become a lot more guarded, and you become a lot less available. You become a lot less available for people to
That's a
be.
good word right there. Right
Yeah,
there.
to call themselves that. But I also know that like men, we can meet at a bar and hang out, and we got a friend for the night. just show up at a bar. You know what? I'm gonna go over to Applebee's or somewhere. I'm gonna go hang out, and I'm gonna get something to drink, and I'm a meet a friend at the bar.
I'm a friendly Bob. My wife called it, boy, every time I can't take you nowhere. You just I know how to just mingle and just be, you know what I'm saying, just be me.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes people and that's what a friend is also. Like, so what you saying, like with the bar situation, you can pull up at a bar and you just be having you a casual drink. Somebody could be having a bad day or just be off. And then y'all conversation can just bring that person just back up to like, bruh, be like, bruh, thank you at the end of the evening. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah.
there go your appreciation again, Jig. Thank you, bro. You see what I'm saying? I done had that several times where I'm just out been doing. I'm man, I gotta pull in her and get me a little steak or something. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to work early. I ain't got to share with the kids or nothing. You know, I'm gonna pull in her and do me,
Right.
and I'm feeling her and the guy at the bar, because you know you can always pull up to the bar and you ain't gotta wait on no table. No, you get to the bar and gentleman right next to me. It happened several times, man. I'm just chopping it up with him like we doing tonight, and
Right.
you know, like man, just appreciate it, man. Thank you for this. And, you know, I'm like, right on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing what I done did for that gentleman, but
I'm trying to see if Cecil with us again or not.
I'm
Good.
here. I'm back.
he'll wait on his turn.
Yeah, tell us about how your take, your perception on friendship.
Friendship, uh, man, yeah, friendship is a kind of sacred word. Like I don't just call nobody my friend or none of that. You know, they more that friendship is more almost like family. You know, if I consider you my friend, you my family, and everybody you know that knows me know how I take that family stuff. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, you know, disown a few family members. You know, just on, but I still look at other and observe on other families on how they, you know, my friends' families on how they, you know, do their family, and you gonna have some shaky moments, and you know, but at the end of the day, y'all still all come together. You know, you still love each other. You know, regardless. You know, I love all my homeboys, all my homegirls. You know what I'm saying? They know I'm always gonna be there for them. So that I mean, that friendship word is very, very sacred with me. Any
Yeah.
one of my friends can always call me for anything. If I ain't got it, trust and believe it, I'm gonna make a way to, you know, to come up on it. We all gonna, you know, gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sacred.
I'm
I'm
gonna
a
tell you right here, Jig. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna say, oh, let me,
go ahead.
oh, that's a little short story right there.
I said go ahead. I'll
Right
read it.
there.
I'll read it. I'll read it when you finish.
You know what I'm saying? Look, I got a little short story myself.
Get
Like
it.
me and Cecil was under the same roof at one point. You know what I'm saying? Bad sister, I had got divorced. I don't know Cecil's situation at that time, but we was both under my mama roof. You know what I'm saying? Never met Cecil, never knew Cecil. Day in my life, man. I tell you right now, a little brother that I love and respect. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was great seeing him, and he come over, seeing him with the kids, my children. You know what I'm saying? The youngest, not just the youngest, how he thrived with the oldest as well. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's a friend. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And we both learned fatherhood doing our little situationship. You know what I'm saying? So it was a bond of mutual people, like I was saying. We trusted each other and we supported each other. So
Yeah. So
Right.
I'll read this real quick from my man Swift, and he's identifying the different types of friendships. Right. I think it's timely for, especially since we're talking about friendship. Childhood friendships are bonds from early years that last a lifetime. Interest-based friendships are connections based on shared hobbies or passions. Distant friendships, relationships with. Give me a second. I'm saying I was getting text from work. Um, Interest friendships, relationship was I lost my place. Distance friendship, relationship with frequent contact but less communication. Highly involved friendships, close ties with frequent communication and strong support. Work friendships, relationships formed at work, often from shared experiences. Flexible friendships, connections that change over time to meet different needs.
a lot of that
So
stuff
those are
we
the
tying
he's
to
describing different types of friendships.
That brother is spot on.
but a lot of that stuff tying into each other though too. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah. I
saying?
mean, it's like some of those friendship does tie in. I mean, he right, but then you got a couple of them that tie in with each other.
Correct, correct,
So,
correct.
but
Exactly.
but I but I see where he going with it because I got, like I said, I got a whole bunch of friendships that, like I said, that are great friendships. But
Yeah,
we just lost a great homeboy a few years ago, and there's some things that I told him that I didn't never tell, you know, some of my closest friends. You know what I'm saying? So he was almost like a little, it was like you got a friend that's like almost a therapist, and he was like almost a therapist to me. So, and then he spot on some of that stuff.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, until they start giving you that bad advice, then it's a whole ass issue.
Right.
But I think the only bad advice, I don't think we ever really give our partner, our true friendships, our true partners bad advice. I think
Nah.
we don't take our own advice sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And that'd be detrimental
Yeah,
to us, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So,
hmm
but we can give some good advice when it comes to outside looking in, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Well,
But some friendships evolve into different categories. They do. It's not a static thing. But with each one, they have their place. And for men, since we are compartmentalizers, right? We put things in different boxes and different spaces and different areas that occupy different spaces in our lives and our heart. We,
hmm
that that whole breakdown for the different categories or types of friends is absolutely spot on. Yeah, Jay. I knew what you were trying to do. You might be on the toilet typing fast. Jordan, what about you? What's your take? What you got? I caught you while you was putting something in your mouth, man. My bad.
Man, what would you eat, man? Hey, you gotta share.
I'm actually eating cheese and crackers.
Yeah,
Man,
Yeah, I always got something in my mouth, but I got to go and work out and stop eating for about a week to lose weight. But I love to eat. I'm a restaurant owner too for many years, but and I love to eat. I love to cook.
okay.
But I want to get on that about talking about friends, and I go back to my kids. Right, my kids throughout their whole life would, from time to time, sit down with me and mom, and they would be in. We share office, and they'll come in the middle of the door, and they say, "Mom, Dad," and they booing and crying. We don't have no friends. We don't have no friends. And I say, that's horrible. You don't have no. That's horrible. And then they say, yeah, I don't have no friends. So, and I say, wait a minute. And then I start counting. I said, just last week you had a little part because we don't allow them when they was younger. We didn't allow them to go to. We had to know the people that they was going over to their house, right?
Correct. Correct.
And I started counting just last week. We have a pool, and I said, just last week, you let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You had 8 friends over here, and male and females, and you're saying you don't have friends?
they
Well,
got
no, no. Well. And I said, okay. You know what I told them? I said, listen, I got tired of hearing that they don't have friends. And I finally set them all down and I said, look, you got to understand something. When you're going through school, you're going to have friends. You're going to have friends that you like, friends that you love, friends that you wish they wasn't friends, right? But they're still friends, right? You're going to have, but
Ooh.
but 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 you are only going to be friends probably by the time you reach 30. You are only going to keep in contact with maybe 1 or 2 of those friends.
man.
And and when you go off to college and start your career and start meeting people during your work career, during your college career, or whatever that be that you start your career in, that's when you're going to meet friends that's going to be near and dear to your heart. You're going to remember those high school friends, but they are always going to be very distant friends. They didn't grasp that. They did not come a hold of that. Now my 30-year-old, which live in Vegas now, We were down over there. Last week? We were flying in, had a 12-hour layover, so we stopped by her house. She fixed us food and everything. So she was talking about the friends that she have now. She done went to college, got her degree and all that stuff like that. Spent 11 years in the reserve, and she started talking. She brought up the thing that she have a friend, right? And I go, oh. I said, so how are your friends doing? This is where I was going with it. I said, oh, so how are your friends doing? Oh, they're good. I said, so how often do you congregate with these friends? She said, we try to make it like go on dates or whatever, with our partners and stuff like that a couple times a month. And I said, that's fantastic. And she said, and we try to do different things. And I said, and you think you're becoming real good friends? She said, yes. She said, because everybody needs friends. I said, and then I went back. I said, remember those days when you used to come inside of our room or come wherever me and mom was at and say, we don't have friends. And she looks at me with, stunned. And I said, yeah, I'm going there. I said, and you always, and you cry. I said, and all of them did it to us. We don't have friends. And then I said, what did I tell you at that point? I said, your good friends and friends that you're gonna really bond with is gonna come later in life. And she looked at me and she said, I remember you saying that, Dad. And I said, yes. And you guys were stressing out while you was in junior high school and high school about having friends. And you was kids then. And what kids do? They make fun of each other.
Yeah.
They make fun of each other without even knowing they're making fun of you, or they click with certain kids, and they click over here and click over there. And if you ain't a part of that clique that day, then you come running home crying because you say you ain't got no friends.
So I had a conversation with my kids a little bit ago, not too long ago, and I told them, you all are missing out on major opportunities because you are loyal to people that you're not going to know in 5 years. And I told them, I said, friends, you're going to have friends. And I also reminded them, I said, you all are living in a different time and age than what I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the ability to keep up with people digitally.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is a
global
quick
friends.
yeah.
Right, we had to pull up. We had to take that bike ride over to our friend house, knock on the door, and get rejected. Like, you ain't here, baby. Like, damn.
Right. And so I was explaining to them, you're going to you're missing out on opportunities because you think you have friends, and understand that. I said, you all don't really understand the meaning or the value behind the word friend just yet. Just wait until those same friends, end up forgetting who you are in a few days, in a year or two.
I want to cut you off real quick, James. But do you consider me as a friend?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know you like that. Really. Oh, my bad.
But when the last time I talked to you or seen you?
Oh, the last time I was in Utah, I was out there for a net and I went over to your restaurant. And
right.
I can't even remember what year that was.
It was that long. But we're still friends though, right? And when we connect. If I mean, wherever you're living, if I'm out there, we probably get together and, like you say, maybe go have a drink or two at the bar, and because I don't know if you know Sergeant Franklin, but he's still serving, right? And every time he come, because they come to Utah all the time for something, and every time he come to Utah, most of the time he stay at my house. What's that?
Will it be Franklin?
Yeah, William Franklin.
Yeah. Tell him.
Huh?
I said, what's happening?
Yeah, he's a real guy. In fact, I just called him an hour or two before we got on the phone, because it was something that I seen on social media, and we be going back and forth. But anyway, I'm just saying, and whenever he's in California now, if I'm ever in California, hey man, I'm going to be in California at this time. Hey, give me an hour or two of your time. We go, we go to Buffalo Wild Wings or something and talk, and then we go. And that's the thing that I was trying to push to my kids, is that you're worrying about something now that I mean, and it's hard. It's hard because every single one of my kids went through that, and it's hard to even explain it to them, because they ain't going to realize it until they get older.
Yeah, I agree. And I keep trying to impress that on my young ladies, and I keep what I told them is what I don't want to have happen when they get older is they get aligned with people, and because people aren't always doing the right thing, that they feel like they need to stay at the level that their quote unquote friends are, because I keep telling you, folks aren't, we're not always in the same place. And if you have a trajectory and you have a goal and you got a support system to get you there, and your friends don't have that, and they're lacking that, and maybe you are providing some of that to them a little bit, but after a while you can't remain in the same place as your friends. You've got to take off. You're a rocket. I'm telling you, y'all are rockets.
Remember, it's 5 and 5, right? 5 millionaires versus 5 idiots, right?
Yeah.
Which class you want to be in? Well, not which class you want to be in, which class you would rather be in.
I'm with that to an extent, to where you got that one individual that don't got all the accolades of everybody else, but of course, like the family, the financial, the everything, you know what I'm saying? He got a mother, but at the same time, his struggle is way different than everybody else in the circle. And I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna get off that. I'm gonna get off that. That's for a different.
I got you.
It's on the same. It's on the same, or what we talking about. But I'm gonna get off of that.
So what if okay, like William Franklin, we'll put it like that, and then we'll put James Glass in there. Okay, if these two cats was into something that I'm not into, right? If they come to Utah, or I go to California, where you at now, Glass? I don't know.
And I'm at Knox now.
Oh yeah, Knox. Okay, and I go to Knox. Okay, that's where I did WLC at. But and if I go to Knox, ALC, but if I go to Knox, right, and these cats are into something that I'm not into, guess what? I cut the umbilical cord. I take that cord and cut it. I take that cord and cut it right away. I cut that cord. Yeah, and that's what we gotta teach. That's what we gotta. Sorry about that.
No. I'm breaking that. I understand what you're saying, but the individual that didn't get that upbringing or that teaching, you know what I'm saying? But take the rap for one of them individuals that did get that teaching. You see what I'm saying? It has been. I didn't seen that case. You know what I'm saying? So many times to where. I mean, not saying that you need somebody to take a bag for you, but I like playing basketball. I done seen it in different aspect of it. I done seen us go play basketball at the YMCA, the church leagues, the AAUs. You see what I'm saying? Where they it's different levels.
Sure.
And so where we got a bunch of kids coming from the YMCA tournament, but we got that one kid that came from Woes or Matthew Dickey's, or you know what I'm saying, from that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I'm not saying look down on that one kid. But if that one kid don't want to conform with the rest of the crowd that's doing decent, then I mean you got to do what you got to do.
No, and I get what you're saying, because I'm not saying that just because because sometimes you become the support system for that other person, right?
Correct.
And you being a friend, you're still trying to pull your friend along with you, right?
Mhm.
But
You know, I,
even if it's not
well,
pulling them,
that's fine.
but you're still friends, right? That's still
Mhm.
that's still your road dog, and maybe
Y'all
some of
still no, y'all still taking it from the perspective of the good kid. You know what I'm saying? It's better to you see. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
okay,
So
yeah, so because we all got different situations, we all grow up in different environments, so on and so
correct.
forth.
Correct.
But that doesn't
So when the people pull up, they're not gonna look at the bad kid. I mean, the good kid. They're gonna look at
sure.
and I understand what you saying about your company that you keep, but
Mhm.
that person necessarily wasn't the bad kid. You see what I'm saying? So
Sure,
that's
but
what.
Well,
it,
I,
it's
I'm a firm believer because at one time, at one time while we on this show, either now or 10 months from now, one time I'm going to spill my whole guts out to you because I wasn't in a very good way when I left Chicago, and I know
Understand.
for a fact, you are who you hang out with, and if those kids continue to put themselves, I never told my kids, don't get me wrong, I have never told my kids, and they'll tell you, to shun anyone, but for instance, my daughter said she was down in Salt Lake. She ran across a homeless guy, and she said, "Dad," she said, you'll be proud of me. I gave him a couple dollars." Then I said, "What'd you do that for?"
God damn, darn you ruthless, man.
I said,
You
"What?"
go
I said, "What you do that for?" She said, "Well, he," and I said, "You know what?" I said, next time, if well, I don't know who. I think she was with a friend, so that was good enough. But you don't go unload money in front of people like that. That's what I explained to her. Make sure that that you're in a comfortable place. You got a lot of people around you, instead of, because they can not take the $2, right, and grab your purse when you took the. You see what I mean? So you got
yeah.
to be careful of that. I'm just teaching them. Okay, and then also. You got to understand. I told her this. I said, you got to understand. I said, could that man walk? She said, yes. Could he talk? She said yes. And I'm going to tell you what Charles Barkley and Jordan had an issue with, right? Then he can go and work at McDonald's and say, "Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order, please?"
Okay, Barkley, calm down, because I I disagree with you. I
I'm, I'm,
disagree. And this
I'm,
ain't to hop into the economics of life right now, but I get what you're saying. But I've known different things where I've seen different interviews where there was a guy that had two doctorates. He had two doctorates and was homeless.
mm-hmm, yeah.
It was homeless, right? So it's not to say that he wasn't looking for a job. He didn't try to get a job.
Mhm.
Such situations and circumstances just did not work out for that fella, unfortunately. And he was still doing his best to get to where he was trying to go. Right. But I do agree with you that the people that you emulate, you hang around most are going to be the people that you end up,
Um,
as far as success is concerned, you're going to mirror that type of success. You absolutely will. It's like it's
Yes,
statistics. Fortunately,
yes.
you be like the people you around.
Mhm.
Yeah, life had like so. On Instagram, cousin Ella said life happens, and it does. But from a father standpoint and wanting to make sure that your baby's safe, I absolutely get what you're saying. I agree. Like, don't be pulling your money out. You know,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know
sure. Yeah.
that could have been a bad situation,
Mm-hmm.
horrible situation. All right. So we got an hour and we got just a couple of more tickets, and I'm gonna move past a couple, and we'll talk about men's mental health.
Mm.
Men's mental health, and I always pause at men's mental health because I don't think enough time and space is given for it. And as soon as it starts to be given for it, our voices get drowned out, unfortunately. And I think it's a societal issue. What I do know, however, is that when men begin to suffer from mental ailments and they don't want to be here anymore, they're more successful at it than women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't think enough emphasis is put on it. There are there is some emphasis, but I just wish that we would do better as men when it comes to our mental health. What is y'all's take on mental health as far as men are concerned?
I'm cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm straight. It's just like some things, like I got a little man, I got a
That
son.
was what I was
You know what I'm
on,
saying?
but I was just bullshit. But Cecil ran with it. But go ahead, my bad.
Hey, boy, because I was gonna say, oh, okay,
Well,
well, shoot. I mean, I
I
get to
haven't
that
been
point,
straight for a long time.
but I gotta come to realization that I got a little man that look up to me every day. So how I
Right.
move, how I perform, what I do outside of work, how I move with y'all, I still gotta be an example for him at the end of the day. So a lot of stuff I trip off of, I just gotta keep pushing, keep pushing. Just know I got him, that's looking up to me, so I know I can't give up on him. So
Got you. Yeah,
So,
it's what you were saying, G. Pretty much building that character. In this testament, what Cecil was saying, that's what I was gonna hit on. You know what I'm saying? Just being there, being for them individuals, and making sure that they solid, they legit, and make sure that they got the tools that they need. Because I'm a union worker, so tools make the best. You know what I'm saying? They make the job go better.
right,
They ask us how long it take you. Well, give me this, and that. You know what I'm saying? I can get through it. So when you get the tools to the kids to make them succeed, oh man, it's genuine.
but that's speaking about other people's mental health. It's not saying much at all about your own mental health and space, right? And
Yeah,
how are you reconciling these things? How are you coping with things? How do you deal
by
with
by making sure everybody's straight. Because if not, it come back to you. You see what I'm saying? If you don't take on certain roles or do certain things, then it's dad, 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 dad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, son. Oh, wait a minute, wait. Now it becomes stressful. You see
like
what I'm saying?
yeah, but I agree with cousin Ella because she said we still have that ignorant mindset that you're weak, you just need to pray, etc. And what I'm saying, this is why I'm asking, this is why I'm saying it.
Okay.
Well, one of the things that we don't take in consideration is that you can't give anybody something you ain't got. That's the honest truth. What up, Lance? What's up, Cuzzo? You can't give you can't give anybody something you ain't got. If you don't have peace of mind, you can't create that for anybody else. If you don't have an actual spot or a space of being happy, you can't help create that for somebody else. If you don't understand that you can't make people happy, you will never be able to be happy yourself because you're
See,
all
that's where you just went contradicting. I mean, not contradiction, but that's where you threw me off right there. Because I was
okay.
with you on everything else, and then you went. Because I understand. So I did definitely didn't mean to cut you off because you probably gonna get to some
Oh,
good
go ahead.
stuff.
You good, cuz
But that's what I was on. Like I was with you on everything, and then you went left because I don't agree with.
so how
I'm not trying to please her. So it's a certain point in your life where I am. I'm not trying to make everybody happy, but I have souls and entities and individuals in my household, like we alluding to, that I'm responsible for.
well let me clarify. Let me clarify because you still can't make anybody in your house happy. The individual making another individual happy is an impossible task and bridge to actually accomplish and do it.
They hate me the most. They hate me the most.
Right. Exactly. So you can't make them happy. and
That's C2 in the background.
I got it. Yeah, and pushing yourself to try and make people happy is different than assisting in creating an environment so that they can be happy. Those are two totally different things. My bad. That's my daughter's school calling.
That means that the show is over?
No, not at all. Somebody
15 minutes ago it was supposed to be, but
so
you can was that a dinner bell?
No, it was a phone call. Call. So all you can do is assist in helping create an environment of happiness. You'll never be able to make anybody happy. That's an impossible task. And to try and take that on as a man is a foolish endeavor that will wreck your brain, and it will cause you to pause and freeze in more ways than any and everything, because you'll never be able to make your woman happy. You'll never be able to make your kids happy. All day, every day.
So is that what's wrong with me?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's all of us.
You talking some good stuff now, man.
It's all of us. That's why I asked the question, because I think that's all of us. You know what I'm saying? So like when we not trying to please the wife, we pleasing the kids. When we ain't pleasing the kids, we pleasing the wife. It's always providing and giving and just making sure everything is secure and everybody is erecting right. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, per se. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's different.
If the whole house in turmoil, then dirt in turmoil. If the whole house happy, then dirt happy.
I believe you on that one. I believe you on that one. I believe you on that one.
It's a reciprocal response, because the leadership defines what's happening in the house, right? As the leader walks in the house, if you walk in your house and you're having a bad day and you actually end up showing it, everybody's finna be thrown off. Nobody want to come out. Nobody want to come and play. Nobody want to eat at the table, because dad
I went through that.
Yeah,
I went through that.
Yeah, I got you, Big. I definitely agree with you. So that's the mental aspect that I wasn't tripping off of. I get you now.
Yeah, you're talking some good stuff now. I actually went through that where and exactly like you're saying, nobody want to come out and play, and I'm sitting here wondering why the kids are not coming out? Why I haven't seen the kids in 2 or 3 days? Well, and my wife had to remind me where you just yelled at everybody at the top of your lungs 3 days ago.
And
you
know.
Go ahead.
What I tell people now, read the room.
Mm-hmm.
Read the room.
Okay.
That's it. That's all you got to do for me. Read the room.
That's what we saying. That's what we saying. That could be detrimental or turmoil in the household. You know what I'm saying? Daddy didn't walk in here with it. You know what I'm saying? He kicked his boot all the way down the hallway. You know what I'm saying? He came in from work. Right. That affects the whole mood of the evening. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie, you kicking steel toe down the hallway. Well, you going to the hospital.
Right.
I'm just saying, I've done it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not tripping off how it affects everybody else in the household. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's why it's important for men to have a proper mental space and have honest mental health assessments. All right. And even if you got to do it with your partner, right? Check with somebody and say, hey, baby, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, even if you got to take a few minutes before you walk in the house, don't come out that goddamn door right now. I'm sitting in the car. I'm at home. I need to take a few deep breaths. I can't get in the house right now. Right.
And that's the most honest person in your realm at that point. Yeah. If she's not toxic, if she's the most genuine person, that's the person that, okay, baby, don't do you. You need something to drink?
It's hard to find an understanding person out here in the world today.
Yes. And I think go about it the wrong way, because everybody trying to catch this fictitious bag and move and be disingenuous with each other. Everybody these bull crap facades that they put up and show.
So what do you guys think about seeking help? going to therapists or talking to therapists or?
I'm open.
I talk to a therapist.
Right.
My job it's through my job.
Right. Yeah.
My wife been asking me.
I'm on every Wednesday for about 3 months now, and it's been that way for about 9 years. I mean, not every month, but well, the winter times get me down. Winter destroys me because I'm in a cold climate, and the winter starts at about October, and by the time March come around, it's still snowing and sleeting and still and I'm an outdoor person.
Yeah.
I love my lawn. My lawn is the greenest lawn on the block, and if I can get out there in my lawn, okay, see you guys, see you. If I can get out there in my lawn every single day that I possibly can, I'm good. If I can go and pour 2 or 3 weeds a day out of my lawn, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I've been against it for years. My wife been asking me. I could tell you, man, at least the last 2 years. My wife been asking me. She think I've been holding on to some shit. I've been harboring some shit that I ain't just let go. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
maybe I need to have that sat down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad we having this conversation.
That's
'Cause-
why I had to go ahead.
go ahead, bro. Talk to me,
Yeah,
cause
I
I
had to
still
do
feel like
therapy because I had some stuff I was still battling with
Mhm.
with family and I'm holding it because everybody know how I can get when when you press them buttons and then sometimes it is hard for me to come down because
Right.
I be coming from. I be coming from being genuine and trying to do the right thing because I didn't did a lot of dumb stuff, my childhood. So I
Right.
just be trying to do the right thing, moving forward, going on with life. And it feels like, just, am I doing enough? I ain't trying to. I'm not trying to fall in the same, category as my father. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a better father than he was.
Understandable,
Um,
understandable.
just am I being a better friend? Like, just am I
So
being a better man for myself? You know what I'm saying?
right, right. So
So
so so coming up, only thing I feel like that was truly like detrimental to me was losing my father. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so my wife asked me questions. How's work? Oh man, how was this? Woo, 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 woo. Well, what about? Oh man, your daddy's birthday was. You see what I'm saying? I ain't got no conversation for that type shit. And she'd be like, you don't want to go talk to nobody for certain stuff like that. And it'd be like, I'm cool. No, that's what you said about work. You ain't say nothing else about when I asked you about your father. You know, see what I'm saying? So it'd be like, so I understand, and I think I need to have a sit down and try to
yeah,
understand certain things and try to.
Hey, I
It
highly
might be a
recommend.
resolution.
because
It might be a resolution.
I definitely understand where you
You
coming
know,
from because it's weird you not have you ain't had that father, but I had a father that you know to pretend. You know what I'm saying? You
correct,
you
correct,
you
correct.
you, you, you know everybody don't know how to know the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you
Right,
see him in the pictures, with his kids, but man, that man wasn't around like that. You know what I'm saying? I had to figure out things on my own. My mama worked at Pizza Hut. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't
correct, correct.
provide for me and Chris like that on a day to day basis. You talking about your mama gone from sun up to sundown? Ain't nobody helping me with no homework or none of that. My father wasn't around. I mean, he wasn't around, but it's just sad that
Yeah, the
it's
bloodline
sad
though,
to hear
like
that. It's sad to hear that. And then I got my father that's still here, and he's still acting like a dummy. You know what I'm saying? So
correct, correct, correct. No, I understand. Like I never met my biological father. You see what I'm
right,
saying? So the father I'm harping about is a father that stepped in and did what he had to do. I met my biological brother across the street from my house that I bought. You know what I'm saying? I met him across the street. What, a year ago?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember you telling me that.
A year ago. He
Yeah.
seen me pull up and he's just like, bro, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I've been reaching out to you on Facebook and what you up, but my circle was so tight, like we've been saying, and so close. I ignored a lot of stuff. You see what I'm saying? I ignored my actual bloodline just because of my bloodline of family and friends. You see what I'm saying? So
And so I think
You
it's
know,
of utmost importance for men uh to find that that balance, because I get it. There's a persona that we have in the house. What I'll say is when we're clammed up and jammed up with stuff that we haven't actually pushed out and gotten out of our space, we become selfish because we're restricting certain things from our family. We can't move past certain barriers, right? And although we think, oh no, I'm cool, I'm good, you're not, right? And
nope,
so
nope, yep,
you've withheld some things that you should be giving your family because you haven't dealt with things. But that falls into a mental health space, right?
yep,
And that's why I'm asking, like, what do
right.
when we first started talking about it, the focus was everybody else, right? Mental health, yeah, as long as everybody else doing good, as long as everybody else got this, as long as I give everybody else that,
Give
I
me a
got you.
second.
Yeah. As long as I can make sure that everybody else feels this way, as long as I can. But I was asking about the mental health aspect for you, for
right.
the men,
And,
because
and a lot of times, James, you have to fix yourself before you can fix anything else in your household. So
absolutely,
if you are not clicking up here straight and well, we ain't got to go over it because you know what my disposition was before. But and I didn't went through many of years of that, and just in the last 3 or 4 years, I didn't start getting straight. And
yeah,
off and on, I still go to that therapist. I just started up a therapist a month ago, because the wintertime sunk in again. And that's why if you see me on Facebook, I'm always traveling. If you notice, I'm always traveling during the wintertime when it's winter in Utah, right? Because I'm getting out of here because I can't stand it anymore because I stay in the house too much
yeah,
because I don't like the cold. So I go to San Diego, go to California, go down to Texas. I've been to Texas, Hawaii, San Diego twice, Hawaii 3 times. I get the heck up out of here because it's too much for me to just, I have to keep doing something. So, but what my therapist got on the phone, because I went to the VA,
okay,
and the first thing she says is that, oh, well, let's talk about your trauma. Let's talk about, and I said, no, 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 let's not. And then she said, well, I'm just trying to get a feel of where you at. I said, I know where I'm at, and that expected, but that's 16 years ago. I'm
yeah,
talking about now. Let's talk about today, and what I want to get, because I'm that close to being an empty nester. The kids are not around. Everybody got their own agendas. It's just me and my wife, and I'm going crazy. I mean, I'm getting into a funk all the time is because, and it seems like to me, it might not be like that. And my wife always tell me, well, if you think that way, it's going to be like that. But I'm always thinking, well, the kids don't want to be around us. They never come over. We have a kid that bought a condo 3 or 4 blocks from us, and we only see her once or twice a month. And she said, that's fine. They have to have their own life too, right? So I went to and then she said, well, you got to understand. I'm just going to be straightforward. You got to understand when they do come here, what do you do? And I said, you're right. I just sit back in the living room and let you guys pretty much talk, and I jump in every now and then and go back to the living room, right? And so I quickly started understanding that I got to be me. I have to be a better communicator, and
okay,
that's one of my weak points in my whole life. You know that the saying about fight or flight.
Yeah.
I always take I fight and then I flight. You see what I mean? Then I'm gone, right? And
Right.
so that's what I told her. Well, this is what we need. I want to work on as being a good communicator.
Yeah. And
You
so
see,
I
there's
feel
a
like I feel like you need some putt golf in your life.
what's that?
so off. Hey, Darden is
Get
an
some
athlete.
golfing.
Darden's an athlete. You still swing clubs, bro?
What? Say that again.
You still swing your clubs?
Oh yeah, but see the thing about that, and that goes on the mental health. I love
Yeah,
fishing.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love fishing. I love golfing. I,
Mhm.
uh, I, but it's that I don't have the, and I don't know why. I don't
Don't say
have
the
the.
time. Don't say you don't have the time. We don't want to hear
No,
that,
no,
bro.
no. I can make time. I can make time because I work for myself. I own
Yeah,
three,
yeah.
four businesses collectively. I work
I
for, and
was
my
just
wife
talking
do
stuff.
too.
That's what you said. The kids used to say to you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got the time or whatever. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right.
yeah.
But what it is not the time. I just don't, and I don't know why. I don't want to do anything that's going to take time. Do that make sense?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's going to take more than an hour, I don't want to do it.
So you had your things you told your kids. What I tell my kids is don't waste energy. A lot of stuff that you do in life is wasted energy. You can preserve that and put it somewhere else and just make so much more use of it. Wasted energy. Yeah, y'all tell you, y'all gonna go do something tomorrow. Y'all gonna be like, man, it's wasted energy.
Oh, I'm,
Working harder than smarter
yeah.
type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's so that was the mentality that the old head you tell me, man. Hey, yeah, you go ahead and try to work me all you want, but I'm gonna work smarter and you're gonna work harder. So I
Right.
try to implement that with my kids just based off the trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, do what you do, but don't work harder.
Polish silly.
Yeah.
So
So the last couple of days, it's been 70. Like 3 days, it's been in the 70s. Right. I have done more besides go on 2 or 3 or 4 day trips outside of the cold. I have done more in 3 days than I done this whole year.
well, I mean, seasonal depression is real. No, I'm
Yeah,
serious.
yeah,
It's
I'm
real.
telling
No,
you, it's
that's
real.
That's why.
no, yeah,
I'm gonna say
It's
that's
no,
why a lot
real,
of
man.
old.
that's
That's
true.
why. That's why a lot of old folks move down to Pensacola, Florida, or Destin, or Destin, Florida.
Yeah,
you,
and
I would do
they
that.
go get them a
I would do
convertible,
that,
or yeah,
and
they
see
get them a
this.
convertible. Go
This is
ahead,
what
go
I
ahead.
did. I left Utah. The reason why I've been to San Diego twice, I got friends there. I've been to Dallas. I didn't want to move to Houston. I've been to Houston over the last 2 years during the wintertime twice. I don't like Houston. I just came back from San Antonio and I'm looking for some place to buy where it don't snow,
Look here, bro. So
right? Where it don't,
they told me outside of Karl Malone, when no black people in Utah.
you know how many times I hear that?
I ain't even gonna lie. I want to visit Salt Lake City.
You know what?
I'm telling my age
You know
now.
what?
You see what I'm saying? I'm
15.
telling my age
I've been
now.
in Salt Lake. I've been in Utah for 26 years. If
God,
you would have told me that 24 years ago, I would have told you you're right because Karl Malone left. He don't like Utah.
but it's
But
different though. Right? He didn't like it. That
I-
was the other
Is
stigma.
it
He did not like Utah,
is it
but
expensive? Is it expensive in Utah?
it is when I first moved here, it was cheap as dirt, cheaper than any place in the nation. That's why I made my come up. I have five
Right.
houses here. And that's why, and all of them, I bought them for under 100,000. They all worth more than 600,000 now. So,
Wow.
yeah, and that's because that's how high the housing market went up. It's crazy. But not that's not the
I'd like to
reason why
go,
I want to
man. I
leave.
gotta
I
go.
want to keep a presence in Utah, but I only want to be here in the summertime. In the winter,
Jesus.
that is brutal. And so I'm looking for in Hawaii. I have a house in Hawaii with an acre of land, but it's too far away. It's too. It take you 6-7 hours to get there by plane, right?
You a bad man.
So
Yeah.
so I believe I'm gonna San Antonio, Texas. I was down there. My daughter graduated from tech school, so I was down there for her graduation, and I looked around, got a realtor. I think San Antonio is probably where I go.
San Antonio is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is
San
beautiful.
Antonio, the truth. I'm a Spurs fan.
Yeah,
So I was down there
but
2 years
but
ago. My wife sent me 2 years ago for a birthday present.
okay,
Uh, um, it was a Friday. I got up Friday. That Friday, for some strange reason, my brother is at the house. He like, bruh, come on, we finna go out to brunch. We go. I'm like, bruh, you drinking at 10 o'clock? I don't even know what time it was in the morning. I'm like, bruh, you already drinking? He like, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm off today. It's the weekend. I'm off. I'm like, it's Friday, but anyway, we driving and I'm thinking I'm going to brunch, and my wife like, nah, baby, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that you finna go to San Antonio and see the Spurs play tonight. And my brother is a Houston Rockets fan, so we playing. It was Spurs and Houston Rockets that night.
yeah, 2 hours away. Yeah.
Man, hopped on that joint, flew, and I had the man. I was eating tacos at the airport when I got in San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? It was so beautiful. And then the tacos there was good, but when I got in the city, oh my goodness,
Muy fuego.
fire!
Yeah.
Delicioso.
Delicia.
Yeah, I mean so I'm talking about my mental health because I'm here in Utah, camped down for the winter. My wife has a restaurant. I can't go nowhere. She won't let me go nowhere without her. And when I say I'm going to Hawaii for a couple of weeks, she said, "No, you're not. You ain't going there without me."
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
no, no,
So
no, no.
so but and then like San Diego, I said, well, find me a warm place to go. I need to get out of here. And so we went to San Diego with some friends down in San Diego, and I went there. But we're gonna get on that friend trip again. I went
That's
there, and my friend that we known for over 20 something years, almost 30 years, she was fine. He was a butthole. He was just beside himself. Everything we wanted to do, he didn't want to do it. He didn't want no parts of it.
I
So
hate
we,
you have to know the perfect people to travel with because I hate that. I
well,
agree with you.
well,
I hate
well,
that.
we went to we went and I came back in the house after chilling with him in the garage and we watching the sports games and stuff like that, drinking a beer. And then I went in the house with her, and I said, "Hey, I said you need to get him some help." And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, he got some mental health issues." And she said, "I keep telling him that, but he keeps saying no." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Brother man is gone." So give you a scenario. We came there to look for a house to buy because San Diego stay hot. They live in Temecula, about an hour away, right? So we were playing with them to look at some houses. So he say, "Well, if we going, I'm gonna take my car." And I said, "Well, we got a rental car. We could take the rental car. You could save the miles or whatever on you." "Oh no, but I'm driving." I said, "Okay, you can drive." He get in that car and you had to literally hold on. I mean, he was driving. He just drove erratic, and then I said, "Oh, they're going to open house right there." "Oh no, you don't want those houses." And he kept going. I said, "But he kept going." we get to her mother's house where she said that we could have stayed, but I don't like staying with anyone. And then that's back to friends too. I just get my own place, right? I mean, and so he goes when we went over there, he goes, and we eating with her mom and her dad, and he's sitting in the living room pacing back and forth, and then all of a sudden we're eating food that her mom cooked. All of a sudden he say, "I want a burger," and I looked back at him and I was like, "The mom just cooked food."
That brother need to be slapped up. That's what
Nah,
he
he kind of he disturbing because ain't no way.
That's what I was saying.
If I'm telling you, I'm trying to look at this house and you speed it up. Oh yeah, we got a solo problem.
Right. Yeah. And so the only reason why I'm saying that, because I'm trying to get someplace close to Utah where I can go and chill during the winter, other than Hawaii. Go and chill because it's too far away. Right. And they're telling us, yeah, come on and move down here. Come on and move down here. And that's the first time he ever like flipped out like that. And it was like when we first came, he was in the garage and she went and said, "Oh, hey, Corey and Malia's here." So and then she closed the garage door, and 30 minutes he didn't even come in the house.
Yeah.
How old is this brother?
He's about 50, about maybe 55, 56. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, I'm talking about mental health, like trying to stay on subject. But what I'm saying is, and then we were saying they're good friends and stuff like that. She telling my wife, "Come on and get you a place here," and we're down here, and we've been talking about it over the last 20-some years that they've been there. Perhaps doing that. And all of our kids pretty much grew up to knowing each other and stuff like that, distance. But when I went down there, James, when I went down there and he did that, I said, "Ain't no way I'm going to move by these guys."
I was gonna say, even with the mental thing, you know what I'm saying? I still don't forget proper etiquette. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are guests in my house,
right?
So everything. Right. Once guests come in the house, all that I gotta forget all that, and proper etiquette gotta you gotta be here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't let some outside stuff that's on my mind dictate how I live my life outside with others. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I told my wife, and that's why we looked at Texas or somewhere else. I told her, well, it appears to me that he don't want us to move down there. It might be he don't want, because me and him are not really good. I mean, we're friends, but the wives are really, really tight, extremely tight.
So we got to wrap up for tonight, gentlemen. I do appreciate y'all hopping on for the men's roundtable. This will not be the last one. We got a couple of topics that we didn't get to tonight that we'll swing back around to in a couple few weeks. But as always, before we go, we got to wrap it up by doing final thoughts. So, Darden, it's your first time on the panel. Right, let's get your final thoughts, and then it'll be you, Cecil, and hopefully Dirtback by then, and then I'll close this out. Final thoughts, 2 minutes. Let's get it.
Okay, final thoughts on everything we talked about.
It can be whatever you want.
My final thoughts, especially mental health. Everybody go and get it checked, keep it in check, or you try to. We're going to live with it. I've been living with it for a long time. It took me a long time to even seek help. It's some tragic events had to happen to me before I actually went and sought help. So, and as far as our family goes, hey, I raised a few kids, and I tell you, it's difficult. It's difficult. Every kid is different. Is different. Every family is different. You have to find that sweet spot to where, and they're gonna do what they want to do as kids anyway.
Yeah.
So and then friends are with friends. Prime example that guy down in California. Prime example. I don't I don't visit with a lot of people in Utah. I know half of Utah. I used to coach here, high school, junior high. I referee now. I know half the people within like a 5-10 city radius of myself. But I just don't, as in like close friends. We're gonna visit every weekend. We're gonna do something every weekend. I don't socialize like that, but I socialize in where I got friends that, hey, every other month or something, hey, what are you doing? Oh, hey, let's go out for dinner. Okay, that's great. And that's all I got to say. The most important thing is family, 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 family. Uh, um, and oh, let me say this right here. I'm going to close out at this right here, James. Those kids are watching everything you do and say.
Absolutely.
And you better believe it. I mean, everything you do, say, and some of the things you think, right? I, I, I thought for one time that my kids had my house bugged. I said, how did they know this and that? So, but last thought, those kids, if you're raising kids right now, my last one is 19. I got them 32 and 40, right? Those kids are watching every single thing you do. So they will be a product of, how would they say, of your own upbringing, something like that.
Absolutely.
But anything, they're watching everything you do. So if you are raising kids, keep that in mind. They're watching every single thing you do.
Got it. Cecil, final thoughts, fam.
Final thoughts. I ain't got no long list or anything, but I just want everybody to enjoy their lives. Love on their loved ones as much as they can. Uh, Again, just don't let stuff get you down. It's it's a lot out here to explore. It's a lot out here to do. So if you got if you got some problem, talk. My number. Hey, look, this is my first time doing something like this. So talk to me or reach out. Ain't nothing wrong with getting no therapy. I do it.
For sure.
But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all having a big dog on.
Always.
I was gonna do some Ryan Artest, but I'm gonna keep an original Big C. You know what I'm saying?
No, I appreciate the pause for not crashing out. I don't know if Dirk gonna be able to make
it. Say pause.
Yeah, I appreciate all you guys too, man.
Absolutely. So my final thoughts of the evening is it's pretty simple. It's a men's roundtable, and I always appreciate talking to men and having this time to dialogue, and not just that, but to be able to say directly, give you your flowers, and let you all know that I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done, not just for the country or for yourselves, but for the people that you're raising, the people that you've raised, and what you've contributed to society as a whole, as a man. I appreciate it. Don't take your mental health for granted. Make sure that you're able to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And finally, don't forget that children are visitors. Our children are visitors. We are blessed to have them for a certain amount of time, and then that's it. And then they're gone.
And that's the truth.
Yeah, and we have to reestablish our identity after that. So you love them as hard as you can. You love them as long as you can. You help plant that seed of identity. You help give that confidence. You help be a father and embrace fatherhood while you can, and just love on them. So, with that being said, as always, we thank y'all for coming out. Let Cecil hop back up so he can close it out with us. All right. So with that being said, I thank you all for coming out and hanging out with us, and always, family. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks
good
for
night.
inviting me.